What is going on, everybody? In this video, I'm going to be going through 5 reasons why I think the Georgia Bulldogs have a realistic chance to win the 2025 National Championship for college football. I did this video for both the Oregon Ducks and the Texas Longhorns this season, so feel free to go back and check out those videos. A lot of people have counted out this Georgia team, but I think they could be destined to go on a late season run and win the Natty. So let's talk about the 5 reasons I think they could win the 2025 National Championship. And the first reason is because they have one of the best coaches in college football in Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart is one of the few coaches in college football with a national championship, and he has won multiple at Georgia. The 2 other coaches that have won natties is Mack Brown and Dabo Swinney, and both of them will probably retire very soon. And I know the Georgia Bulldogs have struggled this year more than previous years, but Kirby Smart is still a great head coach, and this Georgia team could be dangerous. It's pretty simple with this Georgia team. They always play their best football near the end of the season, and when everybody is counting them out, they make big plays and win games. And as long as Kirby Smart gets this team in the playoff field, Georgia is going to be a contender to win it all. They have one of the most talented rosters in the country, and they have a lot of the pieces necessary. And you never know what game plan Kirby Smart can draw up in the big stages. Georgia has faced some adversity this year with road games and a brutal schedule. But I wouldn't be surprised at all to see them go on a late run in the postseason and win the national championship. It wouldn't surprise me if Kirby Smart won his 3rd national championship at Georgia this year. Kirby Smart is an excellent head coach, and he gives this team a realistic chance to win it all. The second reason is because of their defense. And maybe they don't have the same elite defense that they have had in previous years. They've had some defenses that have held their opponents to under 10 points or less. This defense might not be that dominant, but this defense has also showed promise this season. And they still have a top 5 defense in the SEC, and they are still one of the best defenses in the country. They are pretty good at getting to the quarterback with 29 sacks, and they play really good coverage in the back end. Now let's remember, Georgia's D-line dismantled Texas's offensive line. Georgia has the pieces on defense to shut down offenses. It's just the matter of working together and staying healthy, and that's been an issue this year. So they have the elite talent on defense, and they have a very good defense, and that could definitely get them far. And they also have one of the best defensive players in the country, and possibly the best defensive back in the country in Malachi Starks. And he's going to be a guy that could be a massive problem for elite wide receivers in the playoffs. One thing that has been certain with this Georgia team is that they are going to be playing very good defense. And I think their defense could help them win a national championship in 2025. The third reason I think they could win the 2025 National Championship is because of a leader at quarterback in Carson Beck. Look, I understand he's been getting a lot of criticism. He hasn't necessarily been under control in the big games this season. And he has also had double-digit turnovers, which is not very good. But this team rides and dies with Carson Beck, and when he doesn't turn the ball over, Georgia's offense could actually be very scary. Carson Beck is a good quarterback, but he needs outside talent to step up, and Carson Beck needs to take his checkdowns. When Carson Beck tries to be a hero and a game changer for this team, they don't play their best football offensively. A lot of this offense is carried on Carson Beck's shoulders. They have struggled to run the ball this year, and they've had multiple injuries at running back and the offensive line. People need to realize Carson Beck throwing interceptions is not the reason this team is struggling. It takes a team effort, but Carson Beck also needs to step up and take responsibility, and that means he needs to cut back on turnovers, which is exactly what he has actually done the last couple of weeks. Carson Beck's leadership could lead Georgia far this year, and if Carson Beck can remain consistent and protect the ball, then Georgia could definitely win it all. The fourth reason I think they could win the 2025 National Championship is because they have faced adversity with injuries and a brutal schedule. I was previously talking about how it takes a team effort for this Georgia team if they want to win it all. Carson Beck hasn't been great at protecting the ball, but they've also had one of their top wide receivers injured, and that is Dylan Bell. They've had multiple defensive linemen, multiple running backs, and multiple wide receivers injured, and they have been absolutely banged up. The offensive line recently recovered from injury, including getting star lineman Tate Ratledge back, so they are starting to clean it up on the offensive line, and they have played much better in the previous games. But we have to remember both of their losses come on the road in very tough road games. But they have faced more adversity than most teams in college football this year. I can't say any other team in the SEC has faced the same adversity as Georgia. And Georgia will be dangerous in the postseason, especially if they can stay healthy. It seems like they have been finding their footing lately and the offense has been playing much better. Carson Beck had a pretty big game against Tennessee and he didn't turn the ball over. The thing that makes this Georgia team even more scary is the fact that they will not have to play road games in the postseason if they win the SEC. They will actually get a first-round bye. And that will set this Georgia team up perfectly to win it all. Because all of their final games would be on a neutral site field, it would not be a road game. People have questions with how Georgia has performed this year, but remember this is a very talented football team with a great head coach. They have faced one of the toughest schedules in the country and they have had a ton of injuries. But they will get extra rest heading into the postseason. And that leads me to the fifth and the final reason I think the Georgia Bulldogs could win the 2025 National Championship. And the fifth reason is because every team in college football this year has had flaws. But Georgia honestly might be the most dangerous team in college football. Every team in the country has struggled this year in some way. Even Oregon nearly lost to Wisconsin on the road and couldn't move the ball. Georgia isn't that far from being the best team in the country if you really pay attention. They have Kirby Smart, a veteran head coach, and they will be getting some great wide receivers and running backs back for that offense, and that is going to help them drastically. Like I said before, Carson Beck has had 0 turnovers in his last 2 games, and that offense has really been picking up speed lately. We have learned not to doubt Kirby Smart and his ability to find ways to win games, especially when it matters the most. And that is exactly why they have won 2 of the last 3 national championships. They could have won it last year if they did get by Alabama. Last year, I'd go as far as saying Georgia might have been the best team in the country. They just had that unfortunate loss to Alabama. Michigan ended up winning it all, and Michigan definitely deserved to win it all, but Georgia would have been a dangerous team if they made the playoffs last season. They always play their best football at the end of the season, and this is a dangerous football team, and I think they are very capable of winning the 2025 National Championship. But there you have it. Those are 5 reasons I think the Georgia Bulldogs could win the 2025 National Championship for college football. But let me remind you guys to like the video, and also subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. And if you guys love college football, then you'll love this channel, because we upload a ton of college football content. And we basically cover everything on this channel, so definitely consider subscribing. And also consider checking out my socials down in the description below. But that is going to do it, guys, and peace out.